A part-timer at a convenience store helps a homeless old man, only to discover he's a legendary martial arts master who has vanished from the world. For his act of kindness, the young man's entire Meridian system is forcibly awakened by the Grandmaster. Once a short, weak student constantly bullied by his school's delinquents, he transformed in just 2 short months into a tall, imposing figure. The same old bullies who once tormented him now get a taste of their own medicine, unable to land a single blow. Kang Haejin is just an ordinary high school student at Taeha High. Despite his small frame, he has the heart of a tiger, has always targeted by the school's worst, but he has never once backed down. Fortunately, whenever Haejin was getting beaten, his 2 best friends were always there to bail him out. To fight back against the bullies, Haejin signed up for martial arts, but even the coach was at a loss. Haejin had 0 talent. Worse, after 6 months of training, his frail body showed absolutely no progress. The coach felt that something was fundamentally wrong with his body, and he was right. Every time Haejin pushed himself even slightly, a sharp, agonizing pain would erupt in his chest. Tonight, Haejin was working his part-time shift at the local convenience store when he suddenly heard a commotion outside. 2 young thugs were harassing a homeless old man. They were even getting physical with someone old enough to be their father. Seeing this injustice, Haejin couldn't just stand by. He immediately pulled out his phone, threatening to call the cops and have them dragged away. The 2 punks scrambled off in a panic. Haejin then walked over to help the homeless man to his feet, asking if he was all right. But the man didn't answer. Instead, he asked a strange question. "Who are your parents?" The old man then revealed he was one of the most powerful martial artists in all of South Korea. Of course, Haejin didn't believe a word. He figured the old guy had just watched one too many Hong Kong action films. "Look, old man, I've got a store to run here," Haejin asked him. "If you're such a grandmaster, why are you wandering around here?" The old man replied that he was in hiding. In the past, there were countless clans, but now only 3 remain in Korea. The King's faction, who use their martial might to violently control the criminal underworld. The Divine Cult, a group of fanatics who believe their leader is a literal god. And finally, the non-governmental organization known as the Empire, which monitors and controls all matters related to martial artists. Without any warning, these 3 great powers joined forces to crush all the smaller clans. "My clan united with the others," he said, "but we were still overwhelmed by the sheer power of those 3 organizations. I was the only one who survived, and I've been on the run from them ever since. For the last 10 years, I've lived in the shadows. Your mention of the police startled me. It could attract the Empire's attention and bring disaster." Hearing this, Haejin thought the old man was completely delusional, probably high on something. The old man continued, "You still haven't answered my question. Who are your parents?" Being asked a second time, Haejin started to get annoyed. "I don't know," he snapped. "They passed away when I was a kid, but why do you keep asking me that?" The old man didn't answer, but placed a hand on Haejin's chest. "Your meridians are completely blocked." He explained that meridians are the pathways for internal energy. Even a normal person has a few open channels, but you have none. It seems someone sealed them from the outside. No matter how hard you train, your body never changes, does it? As internal energy flows, the body develops. But with your meridians blocked, your growth is completely stunted. At this point, even light exercise is enough to cause you unimaginable pain. If you keep abusing your body like this, your energy will soon flow in reverse, and you will die. Finally, the old master advised Haejin to give up his quest for strength. "I know I'm not good at fighting, and I should probably just keep my head down and live quietly. But I never had a proper family to teach me better, so I never learned what it means to quit. I will become stronger, and I will crush them. I've made up my mind, and no one has the right to stop me." Hearing Haejin's unwavering response, the old man fell silent. Looking at the boy's scarred hands, he knew Haejin would never give up. Then, the old master suddenly grabbed Haejin's left wrist. "I suppose there's no other choice. What are you doing? I've seen countless people like you push themselves until their bodies are utterly destroyed, and even then, they don't stop. I didn't want to interfere. But if I leave you like this, you will certainly die. I have now opened every single one of your meridians. From this moment on, you will feel yourself growing stronger." With those words, the old man left the convenience store, leaving Haejin completely stunned. What just happened? Are my meridians really open? A few hours later, his shift ended, and Haejin began his walk home. As he turned into a dark alley, an arm suddenly slung around his shoulder. It was the 2 thugs' heads scared off earlier. They had been waiting for him, and this time, they were looking for revenge. Model. On the path to get his revenge, Haejin faced 2 opponents, both towering over him, but fear was the last thing on his mind. Seizing a moment of distraction, he snapped the finger of the thug holding him. Enraged, the brute lunged forward to attack. But in that instant, Haejin's eyes widened in shock. Incredibly, Haejin could suddenly see his opponent's movements with perfect clarity, as if watching a slow-motion video. Not only that, but immense power surged through his entire body. Acting on pure instinct, Heijin unleashed a full-force punch. The resulting blast sent the two thugs and everything in the alley flying. The sheer force of the energy shredded his sleeve to dust. Then, the homeless old man appeared from behind Heijin and asked, "Feeling better now? Do you believe me yet? About internal energy and martial arts? What is happening? Your leg was broken, and what's with that blue smoke? Ah, I forgot. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Baek Dang-gun, sect leader of the Beggars clan. I am also known as the Beggar God." With his internal energy completely depleted, Heijin couldn't move a muscle, so Old Man Baek had to carry him home. On the way, Heijin made sure to warn the old man that his house had nothing valuable, so he shouldn't bother stealing. Baek thought to himself, "This little brat. As the leader of the Beggars clan, why would I ever steal from you?" And for his insolence, the young man got a good smack from the old geezer. "It's only been a few hours since I opened his meridians, and he already has this much destructive power. He truly has more potential than I thought." The next morning, the two thugs Heijin knocked out were discovered. They were found in the alley, clothes tattered, positioned as if they were clasping their hands in prayer. This bizarre spectacle was filmed and photographed by a large crowd. Coincidentally, Heijin's close friend, Ahan, also passed by and witnessed the scene. But her gaze suddenly grew sharp, as if she recognized something important. Just then, a man wearing glasses appeared behind Ahan, startling her. He then pushed through the crowd to get a look at the two men. Nearby, several other men in black suits and glasses stood watch. "Ahan, what are you thinking about? Now?" "Sorry, I was just thinking about a few things." From the way Ahan eyed the men, she must have known exactly who they were. Meanwhile, Heijin woke up in his own house. Old Man Baek was long gone, leaving him completely alone. Heijin's body was still incredibly weak, and a searing pain racked his body, as if his very heart was about to explode. Then, his consciousness began to drift. He felt his body slip from his control, as he was pulled into a different plane of existence. After an unknown amount of time, Heijin's awareness slowly returned. He realized the pain in his chest had vanished. Stranger still, his body felt more solid and powerful than before. What the hell? Are my muscles growing? Then Heijin noticed a wisp of blue smoke rising from his ears. He was panicking, unsure of what was happening, when a voice calmed him down. "That is called internal energy. Stop screaming so early in the morning. I'll explain everything now. So sit down." Heijin immediately confronted Baek. "This was your doing, wasn't it?" But even Baek was surprised, not understanding how the boy's muscles could have developed to such a degree. "His blood circulation is stable. There are no other issues to worry about. Did you do this to me while I was sleeping? I haven't touched your body since yesterday afternoon." "Then how do you explain this?" "Because your meridians were blocked, your body couldn't develop properly. The change began the moment I opened those channels and allowed your internal energy to flow. All I did was clear your meridians. That physique isn't something I created. You trained relentlessly even when you saw no results. This is something you achieved all by yourself. You are a truly hard worker. I was shocked to see you grew over 20 centimeters since last night. I had to go clean up the scene because you left too many traces. You'll get caught if you don't use your martial arts more carefully. It's only a matter of time before you're hunted by the three great powers if you keep leaving such obvious signs. Hide your body for a while. As long as you can't control your internal energy, you'll leave traces everywhere, and they will hunt you down in an instant." Heijin asked Old Man Baek if there was a way to stop the energy from leaking out of his ears, but when he covered them, it just poured out from his nose instead. Finally, the energy even started rising from inside his pants. It will escape from any hole it can find. Heijin then asked Baek why his title in the martial world was the Beggar God. Old Man Baek fell silent, as if his mind was drifting back to a distant past. 60 years ago, in the year 1962, this man in tattered clothes was the Beggars sect leader, Kim Yu-bong, and this little boy was Baek Dang-gun, only 8 years old. The Beggars sect must embrace new culture, and many things have to change. From this day forward, I have decided to change the title of sect leader to Beggar God. You're amazing, sect leader. No, I mean, Beggar God. In the crowd, young Baek cheered like a fanatic. The Manhwa sect leader. What did you just say? Beggar God? The Beggar sect has been rebranded to the Divine Beggars. Is that supposed to be English? Sounds kinda cool. You know English, right? What's the Manhwa sect in English? I believe it's called the Fire God sect now. Excellent. From this day forward, call me the Fire God. The master of the Wudang sect shall now be known as the Martial God, and the master of the South Sea sect will be called the Sea God. The Zhongnan sect master remained silent, but he's probably the Southern God now. Old Man Bae couldn't care less about these geezers' antics. This is ridiculous. The entire Murim is just renaming itself. Back in reality, Heijin remembered he still had to go to school. But the moment he spoke, the old man knocked him out cold with a single punch. When Heijin finally came to, he found himself in a strange, unfamiliar place. If you're awake, then get up. This is one of the beggar's sect's secret bases. No one in all of South Korea knows this place exists. You'll be safe here. I will help you master your internal energy. I will support you until you can control your inner power perfectly. But if you fail to do so, then you will never leave this place alive. All Heijin could think was, so much for my perfect attendance award. It's all ruined now. After 2 months of grueling and diligent training, Heijin could finally channel his power with ease. Even Old Man Bei had to admit, when it came to controlling internal energy, there was nothing left for him to teach. Hearing he could finally return to society, the young man burst into tears of joy. During those 2 months, Heijin had officially taken Old Man Bei as his master. Every day, he was forced to hold a horse stance for 9 hours. He even had to eat rats and snakes to build his physical fortitude. I was supposed to be named Employee of the Month, but because you locked me up here for 2 months, I've probably been fired by now. How dare you speak so rudely to your own master? I'm sorry, master. I still can't figure this kid out. Normally, mastering internal energy takes at least a year. For someone without talent, it could take more than 5. But Heijin managed to learn it all in just 2 months. A truly heaven-sent gift. Before sending Heijin home, Old Man Bei warned him never to abuse his martial arts. Don't worry, master. I don't need martial arts to beat down a few bullies. The next morning, at Chungha High School, the same delinquents who beat up Heijin were now extorting money from another student. Suddenly, a voice cut through the air, stopping them in their tracks. It's been 2 months, and you're still pulling these pathetic stunts? The 2 thugs quickly recognized Heijin, even though he was much taller now. One of them, thinking Heijin was still the same weakling, started running his mouth. But before he could finish, Heijin lunged forward, slamming a fist into his face. The other guy finally realized the scrawny kid from before had become a total beast. What happened to him? Is that really Kang Heijin? A moment later, he too was sent flying into a wall by a single punch. Bullies can only prey on those weaker than them. Is this your wallet? Yes, thank you. Heijin told the student to go home and not to report this to any teachers. It was then that Heijin realized he might have hit them a little too hard. He couldn't just leave them here. He had to hide them somewhere, for now. But before Heijin could clean up the scene, someone else arrived. It was his best friend from school, Ahan. Seeing Heijin, she looked at him with suspicion, asking if he was really her scrawny friend. How did you change so much in such a short time? Elsewhere, Old Man Bei was stretching on a building's rooftop, enjoying the fresh air. Suddenly, the rooftop door creaked open. Stepping out were the same men in black suits and sunglasses from before. Long time no see. Descendant of the Namgang clan. It's the divine beggar. What is he doing here? Everyone, prepare for battle! Why are you all making such a fuss? I see. You're working with that geezer, Wang Laobei. Just as he finished speaking, a green-haired goon charged with his sword. But Old Man Bei's speed was overwhelming, and the blade met only empty air. Seeing this, the others immediately thought to call headquarters for backup. But before one could even pull out his phone, Old Man Bei struck him with his staff, shattering the device in his hand. Now, Old Man Bei was surrounded by a group of swordsmen, yet he remained perfectly calm. He suddenly gripped his staff with both hands, and an explosive wave of aura erupted from his body, blowing the men in black away. Back with our main character. His friend Ahan had recognized him, despite his drastic changes. Then, his other best friend, Taesang, showed up and froze solid at the sight of him. What the hell? Is that really Kang Heijin? Why does he look like that? Hey guys, long time no see. It's been about 2 months, right? Heijin, I think you've changed a little more than a bit in the last 2 months. No way. I think it's just a small change. I probably just switched to a new gym recently. Without waiting for more questions, Heijin made a run for it. I have to go to the teacher's office. See you later. This world is full of surprises, isn't it, Ahan? But Ahan didn't answer. Her gaze was fixed on the 2 delinquents Heijin had left unconscious. A glimmer of realization flickered in her eyes. Just then, Heijin asked the teacher for permission to return to his classroom. Back in class, Heijin remembered that Old Back had already requested a leave of absence for him, citing medical treatment. That's the only reason he wasn't expelled. Heijin recalled his master's warning. He had to be extremely careful when using his martial arts, all because of the 3 great families. These 3 colossal powers had cast a vast surveillance network across the land, hunting down independent martial artists. Any who dared to resist them were either slaughtered or enslaved. Listen closely, Heijin. You must not carelessly use your inner energy or do anything to attract attention. Heijin decided to heed his master's warning. From now on, he would live a quiet life, as if he were completely invisible. But after starting school, he wasn't sure if his method was working, or if it was just that no one in class even bothered to notice him. Throughout the entire period, Taesung paid Haejin no mind. The real problem, however, was Ahan, who kept turning around to stare at him, and her gaze was filled with suspicion. "You better watch yourself," Haejin screamed furiously inside his head. "What the hell have you been staring at this whole time? Turn around and focus on the lesson." But that was only in his imagination. He didn't dare say it out loud. When class ended, students began to head home. Ahan suddenly walked up to Haejin. "You should be very careful for the time being. You're in far more danger than you realize." With that, Ahan left, leaving a completely bewildered Haejin behind. What did she mean by that? As he was about to leave, a tattooed gang leader blocked his path. It turned out the two delinquents Haejin had beaten up that morning had called for backup to get their revenge. Unfazed, Haejin told them to hurry it up, as he had an interview to get to later. He followed them into a deserted underpass. A whole gang of armed delinquents was already waiting for him there. The moment Haejin stepped inside, they surrounded him. A short punk started mouthing off. "Do you have any idea who I am?" But before he could finish, Haejin put him on the ground. He sized up the enemy, about 20 of them, but they were all small fry. Even without using his inner energy, he could take them all on.
This is going to be easy.
But Haejin had no idea that as he fought the gang, a dark figure was watching him from just outside the tunnel. A short while later, Haejin had taken down every single one of them, but the effort had left him exhausted. Although he was much stronger than before, he still couldn't perfectly control his inner energy. Seizing the moment of Haejin's exhaustion, the dark figure rushed in for a sneak attack. Caught off guard, Haejin took the blow and was slammed face first into the ground. In a shocking twist, the assailant was none other than his best friend, Taesung. He was now glaring down at Haejin, his eyes blazing with bloodshot fury. "I was just going to have my underlings test you as a precaution. I can't believe you actually possess inner energy. You pathetic failure. Where did you learn martial arts?" The scene shifts to a rooftop, where Oldback single-handedly defeated an entire group of men in black. That was a bit tiring for a light warm-up. Shall we end this here? Descendant of the Namkung family, what is your motive? The beggar god. Why reveal yourself now, of all times? Let me ask you something. Why is there hesitation in your sword path? If you truly meant to harm me, I never would have been able to dodge. If you want to survive in this world of martial artists, you can't afford to show mercy. Start acting like a true warrior. Hesitation will get you nowhere. If fate allows, we will meet again. Now that the big fish has shown itself, they won't bother with the small fry anymore. That kid, Haejin, I just hope he doesn't draw too much of their attention. Meanwhile, Haejin was being interrogated by Taesung about where he learned martial arts. So you've learned how to channel your energy. Are you trying to play innocent? The truth is, my father is the Grand Master of the Wang clan, and I am his successor. Within the clan, they call me the Prince. Taesung assumed Haejin had learned his skills from the remnants of some hiding sect. He demanded to know who taught him, but Haejin would never betray his master. Seeing Haejin's stubbornness, Taesung decided he would use force to make him talk. Haejin struggled just to block the incoming punch, but his opponent's inner energy was too powerful, sending a shock of pain through his arm. Taesung unleashed a relentless barrage of attacks. Haejin was forced into a constant retreat, only able to defend. Finally, his own energy gave out, and Taesung sent him flying with a single, devastating kick. Why did you have to learn martial arts, Haejin? You would have been much safer if you had just kept your head down and lived your life. You'd only get bullied a little. I would have even protected you in front of Ahan. Did you really think those delinquents were bothering you just for fun? It was all just a show to make me look cool in front of the girls. The truth is, Haejin, I've been playing you for a fool this entire time. In that moment, Haejin realized that one of the two friends he trusted most had been deceiving him all along. I was pretty flustered when you found me out. I had no idea what to do, but I've made up my mind now. Do you really think any girl would like you for pulling off a few cheap tricks? Is that all you've got, Prince Taesung? Haejin taunted him, saying he was nothing more than pathetic trash who couldn't even defend himself. Humiliation twisted into rage, and Taesung threw another punch. But this time, Haejin not only blocked it but sent his arm reeling back. I should thank you. Because of you, I've learned that inner energy can also be used for defense. Furious at being turned against, Taesung decided to unleash the Wang clan's ultimate technique, the King of the Underworld Fist. Unafraid, Haejin met the attack with a powerful punch of his own. The two fists, brimming with inner energy, immediately crashed into one another. But shockingly, Taesung's power began to crumble before Haejin's overwhelming strength. Compared to his master's blows, Taesung's fist felt like nothing at all. However, just as Haejin was about to claim victory, he was ambushed by a young man with hair covering his eyes. In the next moment, he fell unconscious, knowing nothing more. It's been a while, young Master Taesung. You owe me for this one. What nonsense are you spouting? I would have won even without your interference. In the end, Haejin was carried out of the tunnel by the swordsman. Aha! Hidden in the woods, she had witnessed the entire event. At the Wang clan headquarters in Zhongwan City, a meeting of grave importance was taking place. Sir Nam Kung Tan Tung, the 6th captain of the 7 guards, Sir Nam Kung Tan A, the 7th captain of the 7 guards, has been confirmed. Please enter. The clan leader is waiting for you both. Inside the chamber, several figures were already seated, ready for the meeting to begin. These were the captains of the Wang clan's elite 7 guards. 2nd, Captain Godan, nicknamed Great Dragon. 3rd, Captain An Kisu, known as Clear Mirror. 4th, Captain Dewey B, the Giant Armor. And 5th, Captain Dema Trong, the Gale Wind. The man at the head of the table was the Wang clan's leader himself, Wang Chu. I've just received news that the divine beggar, Park Gang Gun, has resurfaced. What are your thoughts on this matter? In my personal opinion, I feel he's creating a diversion. And why do you think so? He had more than enough chances to strike. If the divine beggar truly wanted to, everyone there would already be dead. But he held back, leaving only a few injured. I believe he was merely trying to capture our attention, not escalate the situation. If Tan Tung's judgment is correct, it means the divine beggar is trying to hide something. In that case, the first thing that comes to my mind is his disciple. Just as the man in glasses finished speaking, the mysterious swordsman entered the room, carrying He Jin on his back. The first captain of the 7 guards, Zhang In Quan, nicknamed the Cold-Blooded. This kid appears to be an acquaintance of the young master. They were in the middle of a fight. He's quite strong, so I decided to intervene. But even if I hadn't, I'm certain your son would have been victorious. The divine beggar suddenly appearing after years in hiding, at this exact moment. This is surely no coincidence. We'll find out the reason soon enough, once we have a little fun with this young man. That evening, a shadowy figure moved with incredible speed across the rooftops. It was a young woman, and her target was He Jin's house. But before the girl could even open the door, her path was blocked by a wooden staff. You shouldn't enter someone else's home without permission. This girl was none other than Ahan, He Jin's classmate. You're the divine beggar, aren't you? It's possible we're on the same side. I am the daughter of the Saint Lord Gu, leader of the Azure Water sect. He was one of the most powerful martial artists I ever saw during the war with the Emperor's clan. He was strong, wise, and good-humored. A man I felt safe around. But in the end, he fell into a trap, set by the 3 great powers, and was killed in battle. I heard the Saint Lord had a daughter. If she were still alive, she'd be about my age now. I have many questions, but for now, I'll only ask you one. What has happened to He Jin? So you really are his master. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your disciple is in grave danger. Elsewhere, He Jin was being tortured by the 1st captain of the 7 guards. Is this old beggar your master? Where is he now? Speak. He Jin didn't answer, instead focusing all his energy to shatter the chains that bound him. But even with his full strength, they wouldn't break. It's useless. Those are special restraints. If you answer truthfully, I'll release you. But He Jin's only response to the 1st captain's offer was a look of pure contempt, followed by a mouthful of spit. Heh. A man should be stubborn like this. I should thank you for not breaking so easily. That would spoil all the fun. This is all my fault, Master warned me, but I was too careless. This is the price for acting on my emotions. I have to take responsibility for what I've done. Do whatever you want, but it won't work on me. I don't know anything. That's what they all say at first. In that case, let's begin with your fingernails. In another chamber, the Wang clan's leader was speaking with his 2nd captain. What is the situation? Sir, our reconnaissance team has already begun to move. They are gathering information and clues on the divine beggar's location. After years in hiding, the beggar god has returned. We must find him, whatever the cost. If we can capture him and take what he possesses, the Wang clan's rise above the Emperor clan is all but guaranteed. The day our clan finally rules, the martial world will be at hand. Just then, outside the Wang clan's headquarters, a man and a woman were slowly approaching the main gate. A guard rushed to stop them, shouting that they couldn't enter, but the woman simply continued her advance. Then, she uttered a single word. Begone. In an instant, the 2 guards were crushed by an invisible force, unable to move a muscle. With no one left to stand in their way, the mysterious pair proceeded inside. They soon arrived before the office of the Wang clan's leader. 2 elite guards stood watch. They had just realized they'd lost contact with the men downstairs, but before they could alert anyone, the mysterious pair was already standing before them. A brilliant golden aura suddenly flared from the man's hand. The 2 guards were frozen, as if time itself had stopped, forced to watch as he drew ever closer. With a gentle touch, the man sent both guards flying backward with immense force. They shattered the door as they crashed through. It's been a while, Wang. I hear the beggar god has shown himself. The divine sect's master, Jung Hai Day, and the director of the Martial Arts Bureau, Ho Day. At that same moment, at Hein's house. Apologies for the wait. What took you so long? I know the situation is urgent, but we must be prepared, especially if we're confronting Wang. We have to take every precaution. I still can't believe Hein is in the same class as Wang-sun. None of this can be a coincidence. I'm certain your presence here isn't just by chance either. It's exactly as you say. I enrolled in the same class as Taesang on purpose. I've been gathering intel while hiding my true identity. I was waiting for the perfect moment to avenge my father. Could this finally be the opportunity I've been waiting for? The beggar god. Can you truly defeat Wang? I am old, and Wang has only grown stronger. What's more, we're about to storm his main headquarters. It makes victory seem all but impossible. But do not worry, because I will never lose to Wang. Back in the Wang clan leader's office, hand over every piece of information you have on the beggar god. What are you talking about? Barging in here so suddenly. What beggar god? The Wang clan knows nothing. Hey, kid, the adults are talking. Shouldn't you keep your mouth shut? Your act is useless. We already know everything. We know the beggar god infiltrated one of your branches, and that your men captured a boy named Ko Jung, who is believed to be the beggar god's disciple. I suppose you underestimated the Martial Arts Bureau's intelligence network. After the war 18 years ago, our clans made an agreement with the Bureau to share all information regarding illegal martial artists and to cooperate in their capture. The beggar god is a dangerous individual. You are obligated to report any findings to the Bureau immediately. Share the information now. If you refuse to cooperate, you'll be in breach of our agreement, and we will issue sanctions. Meanwhile, outside, Old Baek and Ahan had approached the Wang clan headquarters. Old Baek could instantly sense the auras within. It wasn't just Wang. There were two other powerful masters with him. A direct assault would be suicide. He couldn't take on all three. We have to fall back, beggar god. They won't harm Hajin for now. He's too valuable as a source of information. Deep inside the Wang clan's secret chambers, at the entrance to the torture room, the clan leader had no choice but to lead his two guests. They were going to see Hajin. Have you extracted any information, Inhwa? Not yet, clan master. He's tougher than he looks, a rare find these days. If you could just give me another day or two. I don't have time. I'm a busy man. It'll make that boy talk, right now. You look about the same age as my daughter, but you've clearly seen more of the world. Just wait a little longer. It'll make you feel much more comfortable. Now, can you tell me where the beggar god is? No. I can't talk. But his mouth was beginning to open on its own, before Hajin could utter a single word. The beggar god himself appeared before the three great powers. I didn't think you'd be foolish enough to walk in here. Did you think Wang was alone? Not exactly. But for a martial artist, there are times when you simply cannot retreat. You dare touch my disciple? Have you all prepared to meet your maker? Outside the Wang clan HQ, Ahan was on the rooftop of a nearby building, but her body was completely frozen. Old Baek had struck her pressure points just moments before. You will stay here. Don't worry, he'll be back to release you. I'm sick and tired of watching the next generation die in place of us old men. If you are a true martial artist, there are some fights you cannot run from, no matter how dangerous. Back in the torture chamber, Wang made his decision. He would face the beggar god alone. I will defeat him myself, and I will not forgive anyone who dares interfere in this duel. Oh boy, it looks like the clan master is dead serious. He's serious now. Let's go, big brother. Once he gets like this, no one can stop him. The king sure gets fired up over the strangest things. The match begins. The king immediately rushes forward, unleashing the third form of the Azure Furnace art, Flying Tiger Claw. Is that all you've got? I have trained relentlessly for this very moment, old man. I will avenge my defeat from 18 years ago. The king's assault was ferocious, but it wasn't enough to intimidate the divine beggar. You're strong, king. I'll give you that. But you're not the only one who has been training. Dog-beating staff technique, sixth form, vengeful spirit of the fallen heavens. With a single move, the divine beggar forced the king back. The dog-beating staff technique, truly worthy of its title, as the beggar sect's ultimate art. After repelling the king, he swiftly shattered the iron chains to free Hajin, then threw down a smoke bomb, blinding his opponent. He created an opportunity to escape. However, the old beggar's actions were spotted by the master of the divine gate. We have the utmost respect for this duel, but if you intend to flee, that's an entirely different story. I tried to respect your wishes, king, but there's a difference between a fair fight and an escape. I cannot allow him to get away, just as I thought. Nothing is going according to plan. Hajin, can you run? I can. But master, why do you ask? But before Hajin could finish, the old beggar hurled him through the door. Get out of here now. I'll hold them off. Then, before Hajin's helpless eyes, the old beggar slammed the door shut. I've already achieved my goal. A battle between adults should be fought by adults, don't you think? If you want my head, then come and try to take it. Outside, Hajin could only pound on the door again and again, but it wouldn't open. He was consumed by regret. If I had just been more careful, my master wouldn't have fallen into the three great powers trap. How did you manage to get out? That old man is truly something else. I just dropped by as a precaution, but I'm glad I did. My orders are not to touch the divine beggar, but you wouldn't mind if I played with you for a bit, would you? You can use one of these two swords. Inside the room, the divine beggar and the king were still locked in their unfinished battle. But the king alone was no match for the divine beggar. He unleashed the sixth form of the dog-beating staff technique, Tiger Soul Strike, sending the king flying. The emperor immediately recognized it. Innate true chi. Hez burning his own life force in exchange for internal energy. I had to, if I wanted to face the three of you. I don't understand. Is that kid really worth all this? You would never understand. To you, people are just tools. But this place is a bit cramped for 4 people, isn't it? Shall we change the venue? Are they really facing the world's #1 martial artist over there? My heart is pounding in my chest. If you can land a single hit on me, I'll let you go. Of course, I'll only be using one hand. Can't you control your internal energy? Pathetic. Try again. This time, try to actually hit me. Kang Hajin, calm down. This guy is strong. I can't face him head on. If he's underestimating me, I'll use it to my advantage. I'll pretend to be weak. And the moment he reveals an opening, I'll strike with all the internal energy I have. Amidst the building's ruins, the divine beggar was fighting 3 against 1. With the divine master and the emperor joining the fray, he was beginning to lose ground. All 3 of them are grandmasters. Even with my innate true chi, the emperor could block that blow directly. I'm running out of time. If this continues, I'll collapse from exhaustion. This is where I use everything I have left. Ultimate dog-beating staff technique. Seaver. The sheer power from the divine beggar's final art made the great captain flinch for a split second. Seizing the opportunity, Hajin instantly zipped behind him, unleashing a punch charged with internal energy that sent his opponent flying. You planned that strike from the very beginning, didn't you? Impressive. If you'd hit a little harder, that might have killed me. At that moment, all the internal energy in Hajin's body was depleted. If Inhua attacked now, Hajin would surely be defeated and captured. But surprisingly, Inhua decided to let him leave. I told you, if you landed one hit, I'd let you go. Did you forget? When I make a promise, I never break it. And to be honest, I've taken quite a liking to you. Go, Hajin. The next time we meet, well, continue our duel. Just then, the wall behind Inhua suddenly exploded into pieces. It was destroyed by the aftershock from the battle of the 4 grandmasters. Seeing his master injured, Hajin immediately rushed forward, but Inhua blocked his path. Calm down. If your master dies, that's one thing. But if you die, who's going to keep their promise to me? Honestly, I'm quite surprised, divine beggar. You've far surpassed my expectations. Even after burning so much of your life force, you still have the strength to fight back. However, it all ends now. Moreover, your power has clearly weakened. Let's end this battle quickly. As soon as the words were spoken, the 3 great masters charged toward the divine beggar. But there was one thing he never could have expected. The emperor's true target was Hajin, who was still restrained by Inhua. He unleashed his ultimate technique, the Dragon Tiger Claw, aiming straight for Hajin's head. In the moment of mortal danger, the beggar god shielded his disciple with his own body. I knew he would protect the boy at all costs, and I was right. Is this the end? My life was pathetic, but at least I managed to save him. Hejin, you must live a good life. Mission complete. The beggar god has been eliminated. Now the disciple must also be dealt with. The emperor then slammed a palm into Hejin's chest, shattering his spiritual core. Today's harvest was fruitful indeed. Our work here is done. We should be going. A real shame. You were a promising kid, but there's nothing I can do for you now. Get on the line. Send a cleanup crew down to the secret chamber. Soon after, a group carried the bodies of the beggar god and Hejin into the forest for burial. To think even the legendary beggar god would meet such an end. This is the consequence of defying the 3 great powers. That kid, he was the beggar god's disciple, wasn't he? That's right. I heard his master came here just to save him. He looks so young. He certainly chose the wrong master. Lost in their conversation, the cleanup crew didn't realize that inside the body bag, Hejin was still alive. A powerful current of internal energy had protected his core from shattering completely. At that moment, Hejin let out an unconscious groan. Unfortunately, that sound was heard by one of the cleaners. Looks like the emperor didn't finish the job after all. Hez making things difficult for us again. A man holding a shovel decided to add one last fatal blow to send Hejin on his way. But a flying dagger immediately stopped his hand. The one who threw the dagger to save Hejin was none other than Ahanan. She single-handedly dispatched the entire cleanup crew, but one man managed to call for backup. Ahanan was running out of time. She had no choice but to leave the beggar god's body and escape with Heijin. The next morning, Heijin awoke in Ahanan's house. What happened to my master? Where is he now? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything, so please calm down and listen. This is what happened. By the time my pressure points were released, it was already over. I tailed those bastards to retrieve both of your bodies, and I saved you. When I rescued you, I could feel traces of the beggar god's internal energy inside your body. He used his final shred of power to save you, so remember that for the rest of your life. Forget everything that just happened. Disappear, live a quiet life, and never use martial arts again. You'll find you a new identity. Thank you for your help. But I'm not going to run. You said you wanted to avenge your father, right? Let's do it together. Let me join your cause. Didn't you hear what I just said? My master was the only person who ever cared about me. We only met by chance. But he opened my meridians and taught me martial arts. In the end, he traded his life to save mine. So it doesn't matter what I think. I simply have no other choice. It doesn't matter if you let me join you or not. I will get my revenge on my own. Do you realize how powerful those three are? Do you think we could even put a scratch on them? It's true I can't defeat them yet. But isn't there a simpler method? Several weeks ago, in the underground passage. Heijin, remember to wash up before you go to bed. I forgot. The boy must be exhausted today. A moment later, as Heijin slept soundly, the ground suddenly began to shake violently. What the hell? An earthquake? Master, we have to escape. But Heijin quickly realized his own master was the one causing the tremors. There's a secret room down here? You hid it so well, master. I didn't know anything about it. This place is so clean. I just want to sleep somewhere clean for once. Stop your foolish dreaming. This is an important place. I'll let you inside once you've mastered the basic techniques. I don't know when that will be, but you will definitely become much stronger. Master, I swear I will become stronger to avenge you, but now that I'm here, what should I do? Heijin looked around the room. He noticed a laptop on the desk, where the beggar god had left him a message. If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. It's not the best outcome, but I'm glad you're still alive. Honestly, if things have turned out this way, I hope you'll choose to live in seclusion. Don't even think about getting revenge. Forget martial arts and find peace. But since you've come to this place and are reading this letter, my words alone can't stop you. The items in this room are the legacy of the ancient manuals from 18 years ago. These are what I protected and gathered from the fallen clans. It's also the reason why the three great powers hunted me so relentlessly, especially the Emperor, because these manuals could elevate his strength. Every ancient martial arts text in the entire Murim is in this room. They are all for you, Heijin. I've arranged them on the upper shelf. Find a martial art that suits you and begin your training. Thank you, Master. I've decided which technique I'm going to learn. The Heavenly Staff Arts. Time passed in a flash. 1 year had gone by since the day Heijin opened the secret room. Are you coming to the party tonight, Ahan? Sorry, I have plans today. Maybe next time. Later, Ahanan. After waving goodbye to her friends, Han started for home. But as she ducked into an alley, a voice suddenly echoed from behind her. Hello there. Ah, Han. Long time no see. How's your exam prep going? Why would a dropout care about something like that? Just curious. Am I not allowed to ask simply because I quit school? I was skeptical when you said you were leaving to train, but you've truly grown powerful this past year. He's in. Only a year has passed. How could his internal energy have grown to this level already? We've run into each other plenty over the last few months, but this is the first time you've ever complimented me. That's because you weren't strong enough to be worthy of it until now. What is that supposed to mean? I think the time has come. I have a plan. I care to join? However, don't lower your guard just because you're a bit stronger. I know you've trained tirelessly for the past year, but you weren't the only one. That evening, Taesung appeared at the school. Why would Ahan ask to meet me on the rooftop? Is she finally ready to leave with me? It seems my year of hard work has paid off. Ah, Han, are you waiting for me? However, the one who answered Taesung wasn't Ah Han. That's right. I was waiting for you. I've been waiting for almost a year now. It's time we finish what you started all those years ago. Come on. Let's begin round 2. How is this possible? I heard you died a year ago. I think your information is a little outdated, just as I thought. You don't hold a very high rank in your sect. What a fool. This just makes things easier for me. Ah, Han, you're a martial artist too? Ha ha ha. I guess that explains why I'm so drawn to you. We truly are a perfect match. Since we're both warriors, there's no need to waste time with courtship. If you just bow your head, the three great powers will forgive you. He's still the same. Some people never change. Anyway, I'll leave him to you. I have other matters to attend to, just as we planned. Where do you think you're going? Ahan. We have a date, don't we? First, I'm going to have to teach you some manners. Stop, Taesung. Your opponent isn't her. It's me. Didn't I just say we were starting round 2? I'm leaving him in your hands, he's in. Fine. If you're that eager to die, then this time, I will definitely take your life, he's in. Heavenly King Palm, Royal Tiger's Might. It seems you've been hiding away learning some useless new tricks. But I wasn't just sitting idle for the past year either. Tiger King's roar, wall-shattering strike. I'll end you before you even get the chance to use that ridiculous staff. Facing Taesang's killing blow, Hizin remained utterly calm. Taesang believed victory was his, but his triumphant smirk quickly contorted into one of shock, because Hizin hadn't even bothered to reach for his weapon. With a single hand, he caught Taesang's Tiger King's roar, then effortlessly flung him aside. You were right about one thing, Taesang. To deal with an opponent like you, I don't even need to use this staff. Go on, rest up. I'll give you a moment, so don't be shy. Come at me again. At that moment, inside a nearby building, Ah-Han was speaking with two figures cloaked in black. They were the 6th and 7th captains of the King's Gate 7 guard squads. I've seen that sword insignia before. The Azure Water Sect. Then this will make our conversation go much faster. I know who you are. Once one of the 5 great clans of the old martial world, the Namgung family has only 2 survivors left, Namgung Jinsong and Namgung Jinna. You know a great deal about us. That's a past we'd rather forget. Why have you summoned us here? Answer me. Descendants of the Azure Water Sect. We're planning an attack on the King's Gate, but to succeed, we need help from the inside. Will the 2 of you cooperate with us? Do you have any idea how powerful that sect truly is? Excluding the ordinary members, there are still hundreds of martial artists. Of course, facing a sect with hundreds of warriors would be difficult. However, that's only if all of its members are truly united. There is a great deal of discontent simmering within the King's Gate. Former masters who were defeated and forced to serve the king, if given a good enough reason, they'd be ready to rebel. So, what do you say? We have no reason to cooperate with you. If you truly objected, you wouldn't have stood here listening to my whole proposal. You would have struck me down already. I've seen how the 2 of you are treated. Despite your high ranks, all the important missions are given to the other captains. Are you content to continue living like that? Enduring oppression and discrimination after all these years of service to the 3 great powers? Let's say you're right. Why do you think we haven't already rebelled? I know we can't possibly win. I am well aware of the power held by the king and the other captains, and you think you can overcome that massive gap in strength simply by asking us to join your cause? That's right, I can. Because I have another ally. A warrior of absolute, supreme power. What are you doing, Taesang? I told you to attack. I gave you an opening, and you failed to take it. In that case, I'll take it myself. We're just getting started. This isn't over yet. I can't lose to this pathetic worm. I absolutely refuse to lose. King's art, Tiger's essence. I am the true successor of the Wang clan. I am Wang Gong, the 2nd son, the man who will one day rule this nation's entire underworld. Even after unleashing his berserker state, Taesang was ultimately no match for Hein. Now, where is it? There it is. The phone still works, and it's unlocked. Master of the Wang clan, just you wait. But first, I need to get out of here. We chose an inconspicuous location, but I ended up causing a massive disturbance. I have to leave quickly before anyone shows up. You're earlier than I thought, Hein. Did you follow the plan exactly? First, use this to bind Taesang. These are special chains capable of dispersing internal energy. This way, even if he wakes up, he won't be able to escape. So, what's our next move here? Isn't it time you filled me in on the entire plan? Looking back, there's no longer any reason to hide it. Not after we've come this far. But just as Ah-Han was about to reveal the plan, Taesang suddenly regained consciousness. Just as Ah-Han said, no matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't break free from the chains. Did you get Taesang's phone? Give it to me. I'll use Taesang as a hostage to threaten the master of the Wang clan. You fool. Do you really think a pathetic threat like that will work on my father? Hes too loud. Silence him for a bit. Ah-Han then used Taesang's phone to call his father. Hello, Master Wang. Who is this? That is not important. What is important is that I have your son. What do you want? Money. I'm afraid not. I demand a duel to the death. Tomorrow at midnight, come alone to the designated location, and I will release your son. However, if you bring your subordinates or anyone else, I cannot guarantee your son's life. Do you think such a cheap trick can intimidate me? The Wang clan does not raise failures, and that includes my own son. To lose to an enemy and be captured makes him a disgrace. I told you, this kind of threat is useless against my father. So you won't come to save your son? No. Whether I was threatened or not, I would never run from a challenge. Even if you hadn't used this cheap trick, I would have accepted. Give me the address. I'll be there on time. You will regret the day you dared to challenge me. In any case, everything went according to plan. Hein, Can you fight Master Wang? Of course. I will take care of it. Then let's prepare thoroughly for tomorrow. The following evening, Ah Han met with the Wang clan's master. The meeting was at an industrial park on the city's outskirts. Just as the appointed time arrived, he descended from the sky. Wasn't the person who called me a woman? Are you with her? It doesn't matter, though. Come at me. I will crush you with my own 2 hands. I am the 6th captain of the 7 guards, from the young city's 6th branch of the Wang clan. Namgung Jinsong, if you keep making that face, you're going to get more wrinkles. I am the 7th captain of the 7 guards. Namgung Jina, are you thinking about the heir of the Bichthui sect? I find what she claimed to be impossible. Just give me 1 day. I will show you both the power I'll use to defeat Master Wang. We will decide that later. For now, let's just wait and see what she has to show us. Now I remember. You're that brat from a year ago, the disciple of the divine beggar. I heard your corpse was taken away by some girl. Did you come here seeking revenge after a year of training? Your growth is thanks to the divine beggar's legacy. I had almost given up on it, but I never expected you to deliver yourself right to me. I will take your life and claim that legacy for myself. If you think you can, then try me. Supreme Bitch Lu Art. Divine Heavenly Staff Technique. 2nd form, Soul-Severing Strike. So this is the legendary Heavenly Staff Technique. It's been years since I felt this invigorated. Biklu Art. Roar of the Tiger King. The way I settled my grudge with that old man has always left me feeling restless, so do not disappoint me. I want to see true vengeance. You've been spouting nonsense this entire time. Don't be disappointed when I beat you to a pulp. Your courage is commendable, I'll give you that. But now, it all ends. Impossible. My father, I don't want to interfere in a one-on-one duel, but in a real battle, I have to. If Hein is overwhelmed, it's over for me. Do not interfere in a duel to the death. Has on a completely different level from a year ago. Isn't this magnificent? Seeing Inhua appear, Ah Han immediately grabbed Taesang to use as a hostage. Our young master is also seriously injured, isn't he? This is why I warned you not to be careless. Stay right there. If you come any closer, your young master's life is in danger. Be my guest. Our mission was never to rescue the young master. The moment Inhua finished speaking, the wall behind Ah Han was shattered by an unknown attacker. She was forced back by the impact. A year ago, you were the one who defeated my subordinate. I am Gazan the Great Dragon, 2nd captain of the 7 guards. Our only mission is to prevent others from interfering in the master's battle, so you'll have to deal with us. I've made a terrible miscalculation. I never thought they would be so willing to abandon Taesang. What the hell are you doing? I almost had him. He's already dead. So get out of my way and find a hole to hide in. If you want to live, that is. I'm done with that pathetic fool. Let's bring this to an end. Oh, have I finally made you angry? Then allow me to lend you a hand. I suppose I have no other choice. Show me the true power of the 7 guardian captains. Why are you looking away from me? If you keep worrying about others, you won't be able to protect your own life. Still, for someone your age, your martial prowess is quite remarkable. You are truly worthy of being the beggar god's disciple. To be honest, I still have no desire to take your life. What do you say? Why not abandon this quest for revenge and join my clan? Are you kidding me? Didn't you want to witness my revenge? I'm a businessman, and business requires flexibility. You're strong, and I need even stronger subordinates. Plus, with a beggar god's legacy in your hands, you could shatter the balance of power in the entire martial world. In any case, revenge is a pointless endeavor. Let go of the past. I promise you authority beyond your wildest dreams. Is that what I get for indulging your little speech? In that case, this negotiation is over. Divine King Art, 2nd form. Raging Tiger. You can transform? This isn't some comic book. His power. It's surging yet again. Perhaps a few more blows will help you reconsider my offer. I can't fight properly with my mind elsewhere. I have a bad feeling. Something must have happened to A Hen. Just as I predicted, she's the 3rd strongest in the King's clan. Fast and powerful, but that's all there is to her. Jade Water Sword Art. Ceaseless Stream Slash. What was that supposed to mean? Hey, I'm still standing right here. I'll admit, we aren't exactly friends, which just means I need to be more careful when I fight you. You owe me for this one. What are you talking about, you jerk? I could have handled that on my own. Just as I thought. Taking on 2 at once is tough. Inhua still hasn't made his move, but if he joins in, it'll be at a serious disadvantage. Should I use that technique? How dare you just stand there in the middle of our fight? It's because you're so weak that she's gotten bored. Should we just end this? I'm getting tired of playing support. I guess I have no other choice. Just as Ahan was about to unleash her ultimate technique, the police suddenly stormed the scene. Everybody freeze! Secure the area! Don't move! If you fail to comply with our instructions, we will be forced to open fire. The police? What are they doing here now, of all times? This area was supposed to be completely deserted, so who could have possibly called them? Drop your weapons and put your hands in the air. I didn't think you were the type to call the cops. And it seems I was right. The police themselves are nothing to worry about. However, the ones lurking behind the police are another story. I've lost interest. We're done for tonight. All units, withdraw. Let's move out. It's been a while. I'd love to stay and catch up, but alas, now is not the time. Until we meet again. Come and find me again. I'll be waiting for you, disciple of the beggar god. After them. But their speed is incredible. They've already vanished. We should fall back as well. I couldn't keep an eye on Taesang while fighting those two. Regardless, let's get out of here. We can talk somewhere more secure. What about your old apartment? I've already destroyed it. Now that my cover is blown, that's the first place they'll look. So, what's our next move? The plan was a complete failure, wasn't it? What is your definition of a good plan? A plan is successful if it can adapt to unforeseen variables. I'll admit, this was not the optimal outcome. If we could have defeated the king right then and there, it would have been ideal. But that doesn't make this the worst-case scenario, because we all confronted the king, and we all survived. I had already calculated the high probability of our defeat. I have a contingency plan in place, so don't you worry. Still, it's incredibly frustrating that the police intervened like that. I personally ensured that entire area was clear. So why on earth did that happen? I have one theory. We left Taesang's phone behind at the scene. Does that mean Taesang was the one who tipped them off? But what would be his motive? There's no logical reason for him to do that. Unless, could it be he was afraid you were in danger, Ahan? Taesang might be a complete scumbag, but maybe he genuinely has feelings for you. Damn it all. He abandoned me. He really didn't spare me a single glance. How did everything turn out like this? The King's Clan, Jungwon City headquarters. Today was certainly eventful. It was quite amusing, actually. I was getting bored. This whole affair has managed to pique my interest. Why are you smiling like that? We were supposed to finish them for good today. There's no need to be hasty. They're targeting me, which means they'll come back to us soon enough. The young master has escaped. What are your orders? Leave him be. I have already cast him aside. Whether he grows stronger or dies in a ditch is his own fate now. You, go and relay this message to the other captains. Hey, Great Dragon, where are you off to? Can't a guy even drink in peace? What is it? You, Emperor. I've received some intelligence I wish to discuss with you. What are you talking about? I have nothing to discuss with you. I've already received the report from the police. They say you caused quite the chaos at an abandoned factory. An internal matter, I hear. My apologies for letting the police find out, but you have no right to interfere. If it's an internal affair, then as per our agreement, I'll stay out of it. However, I am a bit concerned. I have to wonder if you can truly handle this problem with your own capabilities. If you need assistance, just say the word. I can dispatch a few of my agents to support you. No need, I can handle this myself. Is that so? Well then, good luck. I'm aware the 20th anniversary is approaching, so I truly hope you can ensure it proceeds safely. The weekly report on the royal sect. That bastard dares to look down on me. Just you wait. Let's see how long he can keep that act up. I'll shatter that arrogant pride of his soon enough. Before long, news of last night's battle reached the two Namgung brothers. I can't believe that kid actually dared to confront the sect leader. And what's more, he escaped without a single scratch. Has undoubtedly a brilliant martial artist. What should we do now? Execute him? I'm going out for a bit to clear my head. Hey, pal, is collecting money really that hard for you? You've been working here for over a year, and you're still this useless? Can't you do your job properly? Every family has its struggles. Forget about it and just bring back the money you collected. Got it? You guys from the righteous faction are all the same. If we saved your life, shouldn't you be grateful and obedient like a dog? Your pride is far too high. You don't even seem to realize your own place in this world. For stubborn fools like you, a good beating is the only answer. That's enough. Stop this at once. Isn't this Captain Namgung? This is our territory, though. Are you lost? Don't you think you're going a bit too far? Are you defending this guy just because he's from the righteous faction? He'll respect you since you're a captain, but I don't believe I've done anything wrong. Am I right? If you want to be respected, you should try being useful to the sect. Thank you, Captain Namgung. You're a disciple of the Chongsong sect, aren't you? That's all in the past. Right now, I'm just trying my best to adapt and change. But it's not easy. Captain, I'll be on my way. I still have work to do. Hello, old friend. It's me. I've made my decision. Let's meet at the place we discussed before. Who are we waiting for? Two of the royal sect's captains. They're the contingency plan I mentioned, just like those two I saw yesterday. I believe they're called the Seven Guards. But why would they betray the royal sect? They are former martial artists from the righteous faction. They were discriminated against and oppressed, so they harbor a deep hatred for the royal sect. They are masters of the martial world. If we can join forces with them, it would be an immense help to our cause. I hope we receive a positive response from them. If you're looking for an answer, I already have one. You're the divine beggar's disciple, and the one who faced the royal sect. I never expected you to still be alive. I saw you a year ago, but you were unconscious at the time. You not only survived, but you've become stronger. Before we get acquainted, let's clear the air. You said you have an answer, so can I take that as a signal for cooperation? Cooperating with you is a dangerous gamble. I've thought about it a great deal, and in the end, I came up with a different idea. To capture you both and raise my own standing within the sect. After much deliberation, I've made my choice. Your master once told me, if you intend to walk the unorthodox path, then you must commit to it fully. And this is my answer. With those words, Namgung Jinsong lunged toward Heron and Ahan, but his target wasn't the two of them. It was the figure hiding in the shadows behind them. Captain Namgung, what do you think you're doing? A few hours earlier, at the Royal Sect's 5th branch, the 5th captain of the 7 guards, Swift Gale, Duma Trong. What brings you to this rundown place, my dear elite captain? Have you received the report on the intruders who confronted the sect leader last night? I've heard. It's been a long time since such reckless fools have shown themselves. I know where they are. Are you proposing we join forces to hunt them down? What? Is this information reliable? If you want to claim credit, it's better to ensure their capture completely, rather than just discovering their hideout. I'm making this offer because I believe it's better to share the glory than to return empty-handed. Let's keep this between us and the other captains. Just you and me. What do you say? But I have one question. Why come to me instead of the higher-ranking captains? Because you are better suited for this task. The most seasoned assassin in the royal sect. No one is more skilled than you in that regard. I figured you would surely accept this offer, because you desire to claim more achievements than anyone else and climb the ranks. You have a good eye for people. No problem. Let's crush them completely and rise together. An assassin who lets himself get caught is already finished. Farewell, Duma Trong. I'll be sending your comrades to join you very soon. My apologies for startling you. Since we had made our decision, we thought it best to act efficiently. That man was the royal sect's most veteran assassin. Although his martial skill was less than the other captains, he was the most treacherous and cruel of them all. To prevent future disaster, we had already planned to eliminate him. We lured him in with a false promise of cooperation, deciding instead to join forces with you two to bring down the royal gate. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.